Hello everyone, I'm Mirosha Verghese representing Team 9652 along with Mikal, Diana and Alina from Bocconi University. And today I'll be presenting our policy brief titled Fairly Random Unblocking the Rule of Law Proceedings through Random Selection of Voting Member States in the European Council. To provide a brief context of the issue that we raise in the policy brief, I start with the rule of law, which is enshrined in the founding treaty of the European Union, which is Article 2, and states that the Union is founded on the values of respect for human dignity, freedom, democracy, equality, the rule of law, and respect for human rights, including the right of persons belonging to the minorities. Over the years, we have seen that certain member states of the European Union have adopted a wide range of reforms that has affected the democratic participation, fundamental rights, and the rule of law. They have also adopted reforms that has affected the independence of the judiciary. For example, reforms that has introduced the mandatory early retirement of higher court judges, or that has enabled a system of disciplinary proceedings against the judges. This independence of the judiciary matters not only for the legal order of each individual member state, but for the EU as a whole. For example, the preliminary reference proceedings under Article 267 TFEU allocate space for dialogue between national judges and the Court of Justice of the European Union. So, if the national judges are not independent or impartial, they might not refer cases to the Court of Justice of European Union when they should, and this might have serious spillover effects on EU democracy and citizen rights. Therefore, because of all of this, the academic literature has been talking about the rule of law backsliding as a key existential challenge for the EU legal order. So it's not just a political concern anymore, it's also an issue of the law, for the law. This rule of law issue in the EU is not a new phenomenon. It has been there for a long time, but it was only in 2012 that the President of the European Commission acknowledged this as an issue. The European Commission and the European Council has also put in place several instruments to deal with this. For example, the 2014 Rule of Law Framework or the annual Rule of Law Dialogue was introduced to deal with this crisis. There was also the possibility of launching the infringement proceedings as per Article 258 of the TFEU. But none of these tools have been effective or sufficiently effective to react to this crisis. One such legal provision is the preventive and the sanctionary mechanism that is provided by the Article 7 of the Treaty of European Union. And the Article 7 can be applied when there are situations of concern that may pose a threat to the rule of law, even if it's outside the scope of the EU law. And it has also been known as the nuclear option because when implemented, it can lead to suspension of the membership rights, including voting. And our policy brief focuses on a potential reform of this procedure. So what is the problem with this procedure? First of all, this procedure is highly symbolic and involves a lot of stages, as can be seen from the diagram. So the proposal is first initiated by 1/3 of the member states or the European Commission. Then the member state in breach has an opportunity to explain itself by providing observations. Then this goes to the European Parliament from where a consent is required. And then the question lands with the European Council. And the process of voting in the European Council is highly political because the head of member states can build political alliances. And this requirement of unanimity in the European Council may introduce a deadlock which might block the procedure. And this political paralysis of Article 7 creates or encourages bad behavior. For example, if one member state is in breach, then the other member states may be tempted to follow a similar behavior because they know that the member state in breach would never vote against them. To overlook or to overcome this problem or deadlock, we propose a change to the unanimity requirement of Article 7 to declare the existence of a breach of the rule of law. To do this, we propose to apply sortition to the decision-making process, where one-third of the European Council would be randomly selected to vote, and this decision would be taken by unanimity. And we believe that this is the best possible way forward because one, the unanimity requirement is impossible to meet in practice. Uh, Also, a random selection of the EU member states would mean that a member state in breach would never know who is voting, and this will prevent conflicts of interest and political alliances. Third, sortition is considered as an effective solution because it's a compromise between unanimity and qualified majority. Over the years, decision-making process around the world has been carried out successfully through sortition. For example, the Irish federal government has in 2012 introduced a citizen assembly composed of around 66 randomly selected citizens along with 33 political party representatives to provide recommendations to amend the constitution. Because this process was very successful, they established a permanent citizen assembly in 2016 to deal with matters of legal and other policy issues. So this modification to the sanctioning mechanism of Article 7 would also not represent a major overhaul of the mechanism. With this, I conclude our presentation and we thank everyone involved in the Future EU initiative and the panel for giving us the opportunity to present our ideas. Thank you.